Hello, everyone. Welcome back for some more Let's Read Higurashi. So, we're on the Tatarigoroshi chapter. I think I called it Tatarigoroshi a few times, but no, there is a row in there. I gotta remember that. And then otherwise, all we've had so far is it looks like What's-Her-Face, whose name I've already forgotten. She's dead, right? The sort of crazy lady from last time, which going to be interesting because then that means that our summer festival might be different in our events this time. And then we had some cooking stuff, which there was some shenanigans, but we also got a little bit with Satoshi, right? And it's weird because I assumed he was dead, but they're saying that he's they're very clearly saying he's still alive. So, who freaking knows what that means? Because it could mean anything at this point. But let's go. What's up? Yeah? What a time. We getting subbies? Mickey D's? McDicks? What are we getting? Neon gleefully announced the beginning of lunch. Oh, right, it's a small town. We don't have that. What a time to celebrate. Oh, right. Forgot about that. We are going to die. Wait, there's still a chance someone else will screw up. In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously. Me? Let's see. I feel like that's the only way to do it fairly. Okay. Hey, that actually feels like kind of legitimate coming from you. I scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Satoko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for. What should be like very feminine. Cute little flowers and little hearts. I'd say leftovers are the foundation of food in general. Again, people who refuse to eat leftovers, how do you live? What do you do with the food? It's so important to have good leftovers, man. Because then you can eat for multiple days. They're hiding it. Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I did make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac Chie-sensei and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100th story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die. You just don't want there to be one less member of the team. Are we actually straight calling it a draw? I mean, I won't say no to it. My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. Peaceably? Peaceably. Not peacefully. peaceably. However, the club president, Mion Sonozaki, would not be convinced by something like that.
何を甘っちょろいこと言ってるんだか。白黒つけない灰色勝負なんて絶対ごめん。ぶつかったら決着つけなきゃ。手打ちして引き分けなんてヤクザの世界だけなんだからね。
A world you might know about.
言うと思ったぜ。
They're gonna be sprinkling that in every now and then now, huh?
勝負好きのミオンがこのまま終わらせるわけないよな。
What a good phrase. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But, well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to my inevitable loss.
ではミー、どうやって勝敗を決めますですか？
相互採点じゃ公平な採点にならないからね。
Are we
こ
self-grading?
こは公開審査と行こうじゃない。
Wait, what does that mean? Huh?
みんな
Oh, everyone. Oh, we're getting everyone in.
全員集合。
Oh boy. Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice.
おじさんたち5人のお弁当を採点してもらう
Oh
よ。
my god, okay.
ベスト3までを紙に書いて投票すること。いいかな？
Wait. We might have a chance. Because if it's best 3, and people put us as like third consistently, but then everyone else gets like, either first, second, or is off, there is a chance we win this. Just by the fact that we might be more consistently third rather than being first all the time, maybe. Yeah, came the energetic voices from here and there. Everyone already knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment, and they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying.
では、
Oh boy.
みんないいかな？まずは私から行くよ。それ！
In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled the lid off her multi-tiered ornate bento box. Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight.
すごいですわね。おせち料理みたいでしたよ。
Oh, it's like a kusechi.
嘘だ。嘘に決まってる。こんなのどこかの仕出し弁当の中身を移し替えただけに違いない。こんな純日本風な料理をミオンが園崎ミオンが作れるわけがない。
みーちゃん、
Dang.
このくらいは本気になれば作れるよ。めったに本気にならないけど。
Look at that smug laugh.
おじさんを誰だと思ってるわけ？時間と材料があるなら満館全席だって再現してみせるよ。
Fun fact, I actually found a place that lets me try that, and I kind of want to. But then I'm looking at it, and I don't know if I could eat jellyfish. I'm going to be real. The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score.
じゃあ次はレナのお弁当行ってみ。レナもかなり料理は得意だからね。
I'm expecting homely but simple, you know?
食卓の花なのですよ。
Like, yeah, beautiful simplicity, like a flower arrangement.
みんなありがとね。じゃあレナのお弁当も公開するね。
Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the two colors of egg and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple, the Soboro bento. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked. See, I called it.
ですわね。これは高得点が期待できましたよ。
さすが。厳しめに見ても減点の余地は全くないね。
A solid,
相変わらず見事。
sometimes solid simplicity can win. Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score, though. Or two. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena. And on everyone's face it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
では続いて僕たちなのです。 では公開するでございますわよ。
Come to think of it, Satoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. Impressive, they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, well, you could sense from them just how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they... Damn it, they tried their hardest! It made you feel a little biased, so you'd give them more points. A few people struck by that, once again revised their opinions and wrote in scores on the note paper.
サトコもリカちゃんもよく今日のお弁当を用意できたもんだな。レナやミオンの出来には確かに劣るかもしれないけど、それを考えるとかなりすごいことだぜ。
It is important to remember they, live in a shack, right? Like they are shack children. Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
実は内緒でございますのよ。こにょこにょこにょこにょ。
Oh, okay. Huh? What? Huh? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. Did they just steal? There. Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and half of their contents were missing. Not bad. In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them.
富田君、岡村君、何を条件に買収された？
いきなり何ですか、前原さん。私たちがいつ何を買収されたって言うんですか。
そうっすよ。別にサトコたちに水やり当番を代わってもらうくらいで弁当を半
just
分
that?
なんか。
That's not a fair trade, dude. You're doing it for brownie points. Curse you, Satoko. What an impudent trick. Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines, and laughed in triumph.
あら、これはケイチさんに学ばせても
That
らっ
is
た
true.
技ですのよ。
We did literally do that, so that's fair. Oh, cute. She tried her best. How naive. Buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If you're gonna buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. For example, like giving them 3 tick. Okay. Like giving them 3 tickets to walk Satoko and Rika-chan around like dogs all day, with them on all fours, wearing tails, and with leashes around their necks. Okay, whoa, that might be enough to get me to do anything! As I was lost in my wild fantasies. Okay, you don't clap me on the shoulder and call me back to reality. Damn, it was just getting good. Oh, you... Buddy's a freak.
次はいよいよケイちゃんのお弁当だね。ケイちゃんの昨日の予告だとかなりのものが期待されるけど、実際はどうなのかな。
I don't think there's any way we win.
ケイチくんってやるときにはやる人だからね。レナ、今日はとっても楽しみにしてたんだよ。
They're all looking forward to it. But it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How was that supposed to stand up to Mion and Ren and the others?
もうやけだ。見て驚くなよ。
I tore the lid open off my bento box. There weren't many cheers except for my boys, the Higurashi. Well, I guess there wouldn't be.
ケイチくんも精一杯頑張ったんだね。レナはその頑張りわかるよ。
レナ、無理に褒めなくていいぞ。
Yeah, please stop.
どんな具合ですの？ケイチさんにしては頑張ってる方ですの？
Is this where she's like, actually, I had a hidden camera in your
まあ
house?
その頑張りは認めてあげたいけどね。勝負は非常だしね。
Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinions, just like that.
ケイ 一くん初挑戦なのにこんなに上手に作れたんだよ。みんなもっともっと評価してあげてもいいと思うんだけどな。でも勝負は非常なのです。
さーてケイちゃん、採点結果を集計する前に
Oh boy.
何か申し開きがあるなら聞いておくけど。
Can we just be like, they cheated? Oh, but no, then they would rat us out because we also did.
申し開きってなんだよ。
ケイちゃんがここで何かを訴えることでわずかな得点加算が望めるかもしれないってこと。
Oh my god, are we gonna be like, if you guys vote for me, I'll give you bites of
何
mine.
しろ今日の勝負はビリでさえなければいいんだから、うまくすればなんとか罰ゲームから逃れることができるかもよ。
それって兄、圭一さんのお弁当がビリって言ってるのと同じことでしてよ。
別におじさん、誰の弁当がビリなんて言ったつもりはないんだけどな。
Mion's cackled, or rather, Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile was growing more awkward. Oh, somehow awkward, right? Well, because it's insulting her stuff too. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. That means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place. Oh, yeah.
みーちゃん、ちょっと意地悪だよ。圭一くんがかわいそう。
レーナ、ケイちゃんも今日の弁当勝負は負けられないってあらかじめ知ってたんだよ。それを承知で昨日あれだけの大見栄を切ったんだからさ、甘やかす必要なんて全然ないと思うけどな。ねえ、さとこ。
Hmm.
そうですわ
She's
ね。
being, like, indirectly insulted.
それでこのざまなんですから笑っちゃいましたよ。ちょっとさとこちゃん、笑うなんていけないんだよ。だってちゃんちゃらおかしくて笑ってしまうようなお弁当でしたよ。こんなお惣菜屋さんで買ってきたようなおかず、本当に厳密
Oh,
もいい
this
と
is,
ころで
yeah,
した
this
よ。
is kind of sad because she's kind of putting herself down.
ほら、これなんか缶詰を開けただけだよね。こっちのキュウリは包丁が通ってなくて綺麗に切れてないし。
Yeah, who cares? It's,
Hey, John.
you're gonna eat it.
包丁とか全然扱ったことないでしょ。経験不足が明らかなんだよね。
Aw.
経験不足もいいところでございましたよ。
彩りもかなり単調。こればかりはセンスのなさに呆れるね。
そりゃ弁当箱に食い物を詰めるなんて初めての経験だし、多少見栄えが悪いのは仕方が。
ケイちゃん、ケイちゃん、
Yeah.
弁当箱への詰め方以前のレベルなの。
Okay.
富田、岡村、解説。
Huh? Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusts his glasses and took a step forward.
前原さんのお弁当に致命的な欠点、それは彩りなんです。
Okay.
ご存知の通り、あらゆる色彩の根底には三原色と呼ばれる
Yes.
配色が存在します。つまりバランスよく配色を求めるなら白、黒を除いても3色は必要なのです。
I disagree. I mean, no, but I do always slightly feel like if my supper doesn't have enough colors, then I could see that being a thing. Like if all your food is shades of brown, that's a problem, right? You need to get some color in there. But at the same time, if it's leftovers, who cares?
しかるに前原さんのお弁当は白黒を除いた場合、暗緑
Oh,
色
that's
しか
pretty
残
bad,
らないん
though.
ですよ。
Yeah, no, wait, that's pretty bad. If it's just white, black, and dark green, yeah, that would actually be pretty bad looking. Dark green. No one will want to eat it if you describe it like that. I'd forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun had been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? Gah! What strong wills they have. It was charming, if only because they were working so hard despite having been
お
bought
か
out.
ずも心のこもらないお惣菜や缶詰ばかり。
つまり前原さんのお弁当には愛、心、味のうち2つも欠けていると断言できるのです。
But we got taste, right? The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery that they were thoroughly baffled with, raised mysterious groans of admiration.
愛もなければ心もない。決まったね。前原圭一。
Oh boy.
ちょっと冷たいけど、でもこれを機にケイチくんもお料理の楽しさに気づいてくれればいいのかな。
And this is where we flash back to the fact we nearly burned down the house.
そんなことより罰ゲームが僕以外なら何でもいいのですよ。
Ren was giving a dry smile as well.
決まりましたわね、ケイチさん。罰ゲームはケイチさんで決まりですのよ。
She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento she practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're showing empathy. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit, but among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she was in a bad mood. Well, I won't let it end with this slander.
さて、ビリのケイチさん、そろそろおとなしく負けを認めなさいませ。
ちょっと待ってもらおうか。
Oh? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again.
俺の弁当の敗因はそういう解説だったな。間違いないな、岡村君。
Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered and replied that I was right.
心の
Oh my god!
黒か。
There he is! We're ace attorneying! I really like this art here. This is really good. Okay.
努力か汗か涙かその結晶かならば俺の手に残るこの火傷は
Oh!
何の評価になるんだ。
Oh wait, that's really smart.
ケイチくん、
Oh wow.
油が跳ねたやけど。
Wait, hold up. Let him cook. Great. Those burn marks are when I almost caused a fire yesterday. It looked like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put in.
自らの料理の下手さによる失敗をさも努力の痕跡であるかのように見せるとは。
My mom always said war wounds are wounds of pride.
やはりこの男、油断ならない。
そうだ、俺は下手だ。昨日大見えを切ったのが情けなくなるくらいに料理が下手だ。戦った。そしてこの成果を出した。それは心じゃないのか。どうなんだ。
レナは認めてあげたいな。挑戦する心が評価されなかったら誰も前に進めない。
This is a great idea, except for the fact that we literally did nearly burn down the house. The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, tables are turning. But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they paid. So wait,
な
like
るほど。
we should go and just be like, we should just go and be like, I want you to know these were made by Satoko and you're putting down her work. And that might work, right? You know? But then what if they tell? Oh, that's the problem.
前原さんの気持ちはわかります。ですがね、
Oh no.
心だけで料理が決まるんだったら、この世にコックはいらないんですよ。
そうっすよ。心を込めて頑張りましたって言ってコックが消し炭みたいなハンバーグを持ってきたら、
Yes.
それにお金を払います？
But that's only because I actually like really well done burned steak. I do. If steak has that burn, that char to it, I actually do enjoy it.
払わないですよね。つまりそういうことなんです。
I mean, I also like them like rare and stuff. I'm not someone who requires it that way, but I'll enjoy a good charred steak. That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. Gah, they did have a
でも
point.
心尽くしなんだぞ。たとえ真っ黒のハンバーグが出てきたにせよ、それを作ってくれた母の苦労を知るなら俺は食う、完食してみせる。
Clap, 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 clap. This time the females... I cannot believe we got the girls on our side. The female students in the class took my side. Good. Now we're even.
そもそもお弁当というのは愛情を食事の形として昇華させたもので、
それは相手に伝わって初めて意味があるんです。前原さんのお弁当からはそれが伝わりますか？いいえ、僕には伝わりません。
ひどい。
Damn. Dude, the girls are not on your side. The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-kun was panicking. さん
静粛に傍観人は発言を慎むように。
裁判長、俺はここ
Oh,
で
we are
こ
just
の
doing
弁
Ace
当に
Attorney.
どれだ
Got
けの
it.
心が込められているかについて料理学の権威竜宮レナ氏の証言を求めます。
We are literally doing Ace Attorney.
レナはこのお弁当には心がこもってると思うな。確かに稚拙なところは多いかもしれないけど、
Sometimes artless things are an art of their own.
でもお料理は上辺だけじゃないと思うの。
The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo.
裁判長、前原さんと竜宮さんの意見は極めて感情的で、
Oh,
一般常
here
識と
comes
してかけ離れています。
here comes Mr. Facts don't care about your feelings.
採用するには不適切です。
Wow. Okay, dude.
静粛に検察側の反証を認めます。どうぞ。
例えば本件をお弁当ではなく誕生日のプレゼントだと置き換えて考
You
えています。
usually don't eat one of those.
例えば誕生日の日に私富田が手編みのセーターをもらったとする。そして彼岡村は図書券を1万円分もらったとする。
Well, that felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example?
常識的に考えてどちらに心がこもっているかは明白です。つまり手編みのセーター、
True.
これはお弁当に言い換えれば手作りのおかずが相当する。そして単なる金券に過ぎない図書券はお金で買うもの、すなわち無味簡素な缶詰に相当する。
I mean, I guess. Murmur, murmur, murmur. The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn, Tomonokuni changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate.
意義あり。
Ah, there it is. Wait. Hold up. It's time. I've had this button for so long. Objection. I've been waiting to use it, baby.
本件はお弁当の心について問うものです。誕生日のプレゼントという特殊な状況とは全く異なります。
That is true. One-off situation versus your daily lunch.
却下します。検察側続けなさい。
Damn.
さて、ここで大事なのは送り手の心と受け手の心は全く違うという点です。皆さんの目の前に実際に手作りのちょっと左右の丈の崩れてるセーターと1万円分の図書券が置かれていて、どっちがいいと聞かれたら図書券でしょう。1万円ですよ、1万円。
$100 is a lot.
コミックスが何冊買えるか計算できますか？
In Japan, probably 20. In America, 1.
十数巻程度の単行本なら
Yeah.
即座にフルコンプ可能です。愉快で面白おかしい漫画が何十冊。
Girl really wants to get Roboco.
これによって癒される心の至福とセーターでは比べ物にならないのです。
The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. Ugh. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey, wait, weren't you guys said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump all? That's a stance they're taking now.
以上より送り手の心と受け手の心には何の因果関係もないことが立証されたと思います。つまり前原さんがどれだけ苦労してお弁当を作ろうとも、それは私たち受け手が採点に手心を加えるものにはなり得ないのです。
I mean, you're not eating it, you're just looking at it though.
それは詭弁だぞ。心は確かにある。それが伝わるかどうかは受け手の問題だ。
Damn. He literally said it's an issue of skill.
味が全てだ。
Damn, dude, if you get called an enemy of women, it's over.
なんだと？
Ah, now the courtroom is in chaos. But I can't allow myself to lose. Not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor.
さて、弁護側は今のに何か反論はある？
Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. Tomida, Kun, Okamura, Kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words?
今検察側は送り手の心とは無関係に評価が行われると言いました。それに間違いはありませんね。
At some point I began speaking formally.
そうです。前原さんがどんなに苦労して作ったお弁当でもその苦労は評価の対象にはなり得ない。
では検察側に尋ねます。私前原が今日の自分の弁当としてこのお弁当とコンビニ弁当を並べたらその評価はどちらも同じものなのですか？
The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you.
そう、手作りの弁当とコンビニ弁当では全く比較にならないのです。どんなにひどい手作り弁当であってもただ買ってきただけのコンビニ弁当とでは比べ物にならないほどの心が込められている。そしてそれは評価されている。
Damn.
手作りによる
It's
心
calling
は
out.
ちゃんと受け手に伝わってるのです。それを認めよう。
Boom! Boy, is this the Takashi Miike version of Ace Attorney? It's like explosions and stuff. With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too.
認めます。
認めましたね。認めましたね。では次にコンビニ弁当にはなぜ心がないかについて移りましょう。そもそも弁当で伝える心とは何なのか。
Oh, wait, we got another. We got another. Objection. There we go.
前原さんは抽象表現で法廷を煙に巻こうとしています。
Your Honor, we are literally children.
却下します。
Dang.
面白そうだから最後まで聞くよ。
Yo, okay, can you imagine though? Can you imagine the judge being like, no, stop, this is interesting. Wait, that would be like literally Ace Attorney, huh? Got him. Now I'll show you two the difference between
裁判長、
us.
ここでフルで理科賞証人として喚問したいと思います。
み
Yeah, objection, no meeping in court. Even for Rika-chan, this must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't
フ
matter.
ルで理科さん、あなたの今日のお弁当は実によくできていますね。美味しそうです。
みえ
Yes. Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos have been made of half of Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's face turned pale, but they were too late.
Lena. 岡村君の弁当箱を持ってきてくれないか。
Oh, we're calling him out?
うんうんいいよ
裁判長、本件に僕のお弁当は何の関係もありません。
却下します。
Ah, let's go.
裁判長、この岡村君の弁当箱を証拠品として提出します。見よ、この中身を。
ん半分しか入っていないね。
半分かどうかじゃないでしょう。もっとよく見てください。ほら、
全く同じ内容だ。
裁判長、見ての通りです。フルでリカシのお弁当は岡村君の盗品。そんなものに心がこもってるわけがない。
いや、これは単なる偶然で。
Really?
もう明白でしょう。心とは送り手と受け手のキャッチボールならば、弁当箱はボールに当たるのです。そして本来このお弁当は彼、岡村君の母親から息子に託されたものだから、この弁当箱に詰まった心は彼、岡村君にしか受けられない。それを割り込んで奪った
This
ら
is going way longer
もう
than I
それに
expected,
心はない
honestly.
のです。
Dun dun dun! Yay! That did it!
あれ、そうなの？リカちゃん、そうなの？みーみぱー。
You can't just say that!
なるほどね。
Mion the judge folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose.
よし、判決の前に主文からにしようかね。
Okay? Shh, the entire classroom quieted.
まず、被告前原圭一の弁当が客観的評価として非常に出来の悪いものであるのは間違いない。
I'm sorry, wait, when did I become the accused? I thought I was the lawyer.
それはこうしてみんなの採点の集計結果が物語ってるからね。
Ugh.
でも、ケイちゃんの言う通り、料理は味だけじゃない。心もまた隠し味として認められるべきだよね。
Yeah,
でもそ
okay.
れは得点評価で言えば小数点以下。本当に微細なもので、その出来具合の評価を改めるには至らない。
Oh, okay. Ugh.
さて、ここでそもそもの今日の弁当勝負の原点を探りたい。そもそも今日の勝負は何が大前提なのか。そう。被告前原圭一が自炊できるか否かが問題に
Oh
なり、
God, wait.
そ
No,
の
she's
成果を
gonna
測るために催されたものだった。
she's gonna throw this back on me when it gets revealed I didn't cook it.
そうだよ。ケイチくんはちゃんと作ってきたよ。
Ugh, that stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown, it didn't matter.
ならば、この勝負の大前提は自炊、すなわち手作りであるか否かだよね。でもリカちゃんはそれを怠ったとなると、それは出来以前の問題、すなわち失格ってことになるのかな。
みぱ
She let out. Rika-chan let out a nipa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome.
悪く思うなよ、リカちゃん。部活は非常なのだ。
ー。さすがケイチなのです。最後の最後まで頑張りましたですよ。
But, right? Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, then she pet it, which is only done when the bullying
これにて一
happens.
件落着。今日のビリはフルでリカ。
Really? Wait, you're letting it go? Even knowing the truth? That miraculous turnaround! Or should I say, turnabout? Okay. And last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
よくもこんなひどいお弁当でビリを免れましたのね。
Satoko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of
ビリに
voice.
なんかなるわけないだろ。この弁当のどこにビリになる要素があるってんだ。
だってこんな出来の悪いお惣菜や缶詰ばかりでセンスもなくて、それから
Grab. Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as she went on, so I grabbed her head and began to stroke
言っ
it.
たろ、心が大事だって。この弁当は上辺だけじゃない。いろんな味に溢れてるんだぜ。
も心だけじゃありませんのよ。お味なんて全然変で。
I mean, weird isn't bad.
どこが変なんだ。俺はうまい。うまかった。だから詰めてきた。本当に夕べの飯がまずかったら詰めてなんか来ないぞ。食パンと牛乳パックを持って投稿してくる。
でも
Oh, just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging. Okay, when he said swinging it from side to side, I thought he like grabbed her and then like spun her from the head like Bowser does to, or Mario does to Bowser's tail, you know? At some point, Ren had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the
い
beginning.
つ頃から俺が作ったんじゃないって気づいてた。
ケイチくんがやけどを見せてくれた時かな。だってケイチくんのお弁当に油で炒めるおかずなんか入ってないし。
You know what? I didn't even put that together.
レナさんは何か誤解してるではございませんの？私は別に何も。あれ？このお弁当、さとこちゃんが作ったんじゃないんだ。じゃあやっぱりケイチくんの手作りなのかな？うん。じゃあケイチくんの手作りなんだね。
Rena smiled roguishly. That's a word. And turned from Satoko to me.
キュウリとかを切るときは包丁をほらこんな感じで引くの。
Teaching him Rangiri style.
彩りなんかはね、お野菜を上手に加えるといろいろ表現ができるんだよ。
This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
でも前に見せてもらった時よりもずっと上達してたよ。ちゃんとお勉強してるんだね。きっとこの調子ならもっともっと上手にお料理が作れるようになるよ。
She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. Satoko was wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at
と
her.
にかく誰が何と言おうと俺は今日の弁当を気に入ってるんだ。今日ばかりは誰にも分けないからな。俺が一人で全部食う。
あ、ケチなんだ。レナも食べてみたいな。
As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she were Aw, no, she's happy, crying tears. And then announced to Mion and everyone else.
私も実は富田さんにお弁当を分けてもらいましたの。
バカ北条、なんで言っちゃうんだよ。
If she kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise.
そうだったの？本当？
ありゃ。
Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared, as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
理科だけに行かせられませんわ。地獄の底までお付き合いし
Oh
ま
my
したよ。
god.
そんなとこまでついてこなくていいのですよ。まったくケイチさんも嫌味ですわね。理科だけを晒し者にするなんて本当に意地悪な人でございますこと。
I didn't mean I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
ね。本当にサトコはおバカさんなのですよ。
Rika-chan spoke so only I could hear, grinning happily.
では、そろそろ行きましてよリカ。罰ゲームも部活メンバーの務めでございますわ。
Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn, Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here's a moron. Wah
ミオ
wah.
俺も白状するぞ。今日の弁当は
Oh, we're getting everyone in.
俺も同じだ。だから行ってくるぞ。罰ゲーム。
ケイちゃんまで？どうなってんの？
She's like, my game, it's falling apart.
頑張ってね。罰ゲーム。救急箱を用意して待ってるからね。
Oh my god, what's gonna happen?
あらかじめ救急車の手配を頼む。場合によっては霊柩車だな。
Leaving a bewildered Mion and a happily smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went to the hallway.
何やってるんですの？せっかく買ってたのに。わざわざ罰ゲームに名乗りを上げるなんて物好きにも程があるでございましたよ。
そうだな、物好きにも程があるぜ。
まったく今日の罰ゲームを甘く見すぎですのよ。
Oh boy.
私たちならともかくケイチさんじゃ大変なことになってしまうかもしれませんわね。肋骨の1本や2本の覚悟は終わりでしょうね。
Is she gonna raging
肋骨
demon
は痛
us?
そうだな。俺、痛いのはダメなんだ。
ケイチさんはおとなしく私の相槌を打っているんですのよ。私とリカでうまくやりますから。まったく罰ゲームの面倒まで私が見なくちゃダメなんて。まったく。
I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood. So it made me want to smile.
なあ、俺さ、野菜炒めが食いたいんだけど、さとこ作れるか？
まあ頑張ればできないことはありませんわよ。上手に作れますですよ。
Again, stir fries are mad
さと
easy.
この野菜炒めは
Yeah.
大好きなのです。
It's literally just throw it in a wok, throw it in some sauce, mix it up, and you're good. She was uneasy at first, but once she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes.
じゃあ決まりだな。今日学校が終わったらいろいろ買い物に行こうぜ。俺じゃあ何を買えばいいのか全然わかんないし。
Buddy, you tried to put lettuce and cucumber into a stir fry. You really don't.
それもそうですわね。ケイチさんじゃスーパーでお買い物なんてまだまだ早いでしょうし、私が見てなければ不安ですからね。
Bro's gonna be grabbing food and eating it without buying it,
その
which is
さと
like
こ
my
も
biggest
僕
fear.
が見てないと間
I
違
see
え
people
た
do
お買
that.
い物をしちゃうんじゃないかと不安なのです。
Like you'll see people be like, "Yeah, I just grabbed an apple and started eating it." Then they're like, "Well, I'll pay for it on the way out." And I'm like, "You can't do that."
リカみ
The conversation continued as we walked until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge.
さて、罰ゲームなんかちゃっちゃと済
Oh
ませ
boy.
て、今晩の献立の話でもしようぜ。
み
Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other
死ぬ
hand.
ときゃみんな一緒だぜ。誰も一人でなんか死なせない。
みんなで一緒です。誰も一人でなんか死なせないのです。不謹慎な話ですわね。私はそんな物騒なのごめんですわよ。
She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was gonna make me
よ
blush.
し、この扉、一枚向こうは死後の世界だぞ。みんなで戻るぞ。みんなでだ。
みんなでですわよ。では、行きますわよ。
Okay, wait, hold up. I need to see this. Slam. All right, the freaking curry lamp is crazy, right? Like on the it's a yeah. That is a curry book. She has spices in there. Here's a coffee can. And of course curry on the table. Okay, what's the shortcut for changing the background, cuz I want to see what that looks like. Let's change art styles. Let's P. Well, let's just see here because I don't want to get rid of everything else. Graphics, let's see here. Background, what do we got? See, and okay, so here's the thing. There's like less, like it's cool seeing an actual photo, but then you do lose the bespoke art things. So yeah, we'll stick definitely with console CGs for sure. We opened the door to the world of death. And like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Chie-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day.
あら、前原君に古出さんに北条さん、どうかしましたか？
She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry. And we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do, for that was the rule of our club. Three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once
じゃあ
more.
行くぜ。いいか。
いいかじゃありませんわ。ケイチさんはおとなしくしてるんですのよ。すべて私とリカでやりますから、私に今だけ命をお預けあそばせ。ファイト、おーですよ。
あなたたち？ん？
We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping. That's really funny because they're right there. We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. All right, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life, because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply. And so,
やいやいカレー独身貴族ニンニク臭いぞ
so you're saying she's single. Dude, she just did like an Andy Bogard elbow thrust at us. Instant death! There's not even a reaction. It's just instant death. Wow. Wow. In the end, my selfish request was readily granted. As Satoko muttered complaints under her breath quite merrily, she came with me to the store. Rika-chan didn't come with us. She said she had a thing she wanted to do or something. I believed her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, well, I started to think maybe she was being considerate towards Satoko in her own way. Without Rika-chan here, Satoko was prouder and more loquacious than ever. You don't know what that word is? Look it up. And it's also quite ironic if you have to look it up. Okay. Oh my God! Look at this supermarket. Oh, well, we did see this in the first chapter, but probably the original art there, not this art. I like the Sonic noodles in the middle.
スーパーというものにはタイムサービスというものがあるんですのよ
That's such a crazy concept that I don't think exists in the West. I think like sales stuff is per day, right? I feel like flash sales no longer exist.
例えば野菜炒めに欠かせない豚肉ももう少し待つと半額にまで下がるんですのお肉やお魚は鮮度が下がったら売れませんからね
I mean, that's true, but most supermarkets would rather just throw it out because who cares? Profit.
お店も売れ残さないように土壇場では安くしてくれるってわけなんですねよもちろん百戦錬磨の主婦の皆様もそれを熟知していてこうしてサービスタイムが
Oh
近づ
God,
いて
we're gonna
く
have
る
to
と
fight. We're gonna have to fight the old biddies. And I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all this quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something or made an affirmative grunt in place of conversation, Satoko would say, "You don't know anything, do you, Keiichi-san?" and smile very happily in spite of her complaints. She led me by the hand to all sorts of stalls, one after the other. She was in such a supreme mood that just being with her cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Satoko's pace was a lot of fun.
どうせならこっちのお得用パックにしようぜ。お、こっちのチーズ入りにもかなり惹かれるものが。
Let's not do cheese in the stir fry.
ケイイチさんは経済観念が欠落しすぎですわご覧なさいませ予算オーバーお金が足りないのですわよ
It's also don't put cheese in the stir fry. Satoko pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Why can't Satoko do these kinds of mental calculations when she's at school?
そう、ノーマルは腹いっぱいたくさん買うか、ワンランク上のチーズ入りをつつましく買うか。
I'm guessing because you might be a bit confused about the whole like they have a bunch of receipts. Supermarkets, at least in China, I don't know if it's the same in Japan, but like you actually it's like a lot of little stores that are put together. And so like if you buy like vegetables, you basically check out at the vegetable section, you go to the meat section, you check out the meat section, and then at the very end, you know, any remaining stuff from the store itself is where you kind of finish checking out. So
これはかなり悩む。
おとなしく量を取りなさいませ年頃の男の方は質より量を取った方が賢明でしたよ
that is true.
サトコは厳しすぎだよ。
And then once you get older, then you can get the quality ingredients.
質も量も両方取りたい。この男心がなぜわからん。
男心でお財布は膨らみませんのよまったく
Unless you're playing Zelda.
未練がましくガラスに貼り付かないんですの
After enjoying ourselves in such an exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming from over by the butcher we visited earlier. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place.
いけませんわ早く行かないと半額豚肉がなくなってしまいますわ
Okay, but half off is a lot.
あいてててててて、引っ張るな。襟首を引っ張るな。
Satoko really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hands while running towards an amusement park attraction. In the end, the bag of pork we obtained was so normal that it almost hurt, but I knew it would taste absolutely delicious. Outside, at some point, the cicadas had been replaced by the Higurashi's chorus. Okay, so there are... Okay, right. Higurashi are the evening ones. So this is technically a different sound, even though I think it's the literal same sound effect. The air was so clear and it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretching out on the ground made for a really wonderful picture. We had filled our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. They only contained ingredients and various other foodstuffs, I love that word. But even so, every last thing packed in them sort of looked really happy, and made me feel really happy in turn.
夕食の買い物ってのもおつなものだな。晩飯が楽しみになるっていうか、待ち遠しくなるっていうか。
それもまた自炊の楽しみでしたよ。お買い物のうちからもう夕食は始まっているんですもの。
That's true, yeah.
野菜炒め、うちのお袋のメニューにはさ、野菜炒めってないんだよ。
That's really sad.
だから中華屋で外食するときくらいにしか食べられないんで、今日は本当に楽しみなんだよ。
Is veggie stir fry considered more Chinese? That's interesting.
それはお気の毒でございますこと。では今日は特別に美味しいのをご披露して差し上げましたよ。
Normally, right about now was the time I would start messing with her, but I didn't.
ああ、さとこならきっとうまい野菜炒めを作ってくれる。すごく楽しみだよ。
She stammered for a second. Satoko had prepared for me to start, had been prepared for me to start making fun of her right then, but when it didn't come, she was surprised. Maybe she stammered for some other reason, I don't know. But I immediately knew she wasn't feeling anything bad.
とびきり美味しいのをごちそうしましたよ。楽しみにして遊ばせ。
This is just so nice. Which means, like, here's how it works. Like, this is nice right now, right? Which is great. But that just means the horror is going to be elevated even higher. As Satoko and I rode back on our bikes, I had a thought. Was I this sort of person? Until now, I would have lashed back at Satoko right away if she did something to me. Yeah, that was the kind of relationship we had. We would poke at each other a little and then kick up a storm while nitpicking one another. But at some point that had changed. We weren't playing our usual tit for tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. I went for Satoko too. Satoko, who I thought I knew, hadn't been like this until now. Our relationship was changing, little by little. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship had become a little bit happier and a little more charming. Wonder why we changed like this. Was she lonely and projecting her older brother Satoshi, who hadn't returned home, onto me? Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That was probably exactly it. So, as my actions drew closer to Satoshi's, Satoko was returning to how she'd been when she was living happily with her brother. I love this song, can I just say? I really like this song. This might be my favorite song so far. In other words, this Satoko was the real Satoko. Satoko had been able to see her brother again and had finally gone back to normal. I've been playing the role of her big brother. I discovered that she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Satoshi Hojo. I was Keiichi Maibara, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. That was, well, vaguely, somehow, a little sad. I was wearing Satoshi's mantle, and that would have to come off one day. And that would doubtlessly put an end to this meager, nostalgic, peaceful time of for Satoko, okay, of Satoko's. A limited tranquility. A tranquility that would end one day. Putting it in those terms, it really was sad. I shook my head firmly and drove off those pointless thoughts.
どうしましたの、ケイチさん。
ごめん、なんでもないよ。
なんでもないならそんな変なことしないでくださいませね。何か悪いものでも食べたんじゃないかと
Can I just say, this does look like she wants to square up, right? Like, I don't know what this is 100% going for, but it does look like she's saying to square up.
へいへい、ごめんよ、さとこ。
Nagging like always, but she still seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in, putting a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, why don't we quit thinking about this having to end one day? If it will, then just think about that when it happens. There's one thing, however, that I could say for sure. As long as I smiled like this, Satoko's own smile would never wane. As long as I stay this way, this tranquility would never end. Satoshi would come back one day too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, what's wrong with me being a replacement for him? Saying that I'm not her real brother, so I can't become Satoshi, well, that was just an excuse. If I didn't just run away, Satoko would stay happy and live a fun life of annoyed nitpicking. I don't know what happened to Satoshi or what made him abandon Satoko and run away, but just seeing Satoko in such a good mood made me think I could persevere as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I wouldn't become Satoshi. I would become a replacement brother.
そうそう、俺はこういう野菜炒めを期待してたんだよ。うまい、実にうまい。この塩コショウ味のお汁がいいんだよな。
Nice.
実にご飯が進む。
ほらほら、ゲイチさん、こぼしてますわよ。そんなに焦って食べなくてもご飯は逃げませんのよ。
いや、逃げるぞ。出来たてほやほやの最高の味はできた瞬間からどんどん逃げていくんだ。
God, isn't this true? That's my number one thing about cooking, is that I hate how quickly you have to then dish and eat. And if the family isn't ready, you're like, guys, the food I made really good is going bad.
男が100美味しく作ったものなら、俺はその100を丸々味わう義務がある。それがクーガーのマナーってもんだ。
それはお気持ちだけで十分ですわ。ですからもっと落ち着いてご飯をお食べなさいませ。
そうだな。悪い悪い。
No insults here. I meekly scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed along with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Satoko was barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied just by watching me enjoy the food so much. Whenever I filled my mouth with more of a delicious meal, Satoko looked glad. That let me enjoy the food even more. In this way, she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me really happy as well. The time passed, softly and gently. Before I would have gone back and forth hurling insults with Satoko, in other words, we had gotten into a fight right away. I'd never known I could feel such peace of mind by talking to her honestly like this. I was a little bit happy about having discovered this new side of Satoko. For example, I was eating food that Satoko had made. There wasn't an inch of me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Satoko would have definitely put some sort of bear trap into this.
がっつきすぎた。ちょっとトイレに行ってくるぞ。
Oh my god, dude.
ちょっとゲイチさん、
Yeah, you don't need to announce
お
it.
食事の最中にお
Yeah.
トイレに行くのはマナー違反ですわよ。
じゃあ、なんて言えばいいんだ？
You say you have to go see a man about a red Buick.
接近か？川屋か？お便所か？
Wow, there's so many words. Satoko looked down, her face bright red, and pointed down the hallway as if to say, just go already. You say, I have to relieve myself. Please, you must excuse me. I must go powder my nose. I gotta go strain the potatoes. Oops, my old bad habits seem to have come back, but yeah, that wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything is just natural. And while having such utterly unguarded thoughts, I went into the bathroom. Tug? My foot caught on something string-like. Huh? Whoa, bang, kerslam, gow! Rattle, rattle, rattle.
やかん？たらい？さとこ！
Wow. She got me. I can't believe her. She always does this when I let my guard down. Can't relax for a minute around her. Still, it was kind of funny. I didn't really feel like getting angry. Satoko, laughing uproariously, came over.
ほらね、ほらね、そろそろ引っかかってくれる頃だと思いましたわ。
Way to lure him into the falsest sense of security.
ちょっと気を許すとこれだもんな。
I picked up the wash tubs that crashed into my head and went to go hit Satoko with it. But then I doubled over with laughter that had been welling up within me so I could manage it. I wish things could go on like this forever. It's not like I was having the most fun coming to Hinamizawa or anything, but it was probably the first time that I'd spent the day so simply and comfortably. It really wasn't worth much. It was only a few hours after all. As an only child, it was my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Especially when you can basically find the part of doing dishes that you don't like and then pawn it off on someone else. That's the best part. Side by side we washed, with the experienced Satoko doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace, and yet so mild and warm. Maybe I had felt this kind of warmth before too in the past. I think I've stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. It made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. It was the same sort of slow, easy time. It was tranquil. Such a quiet tranquility that the fact I wasn't uneasy about anything itself almost made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiichi Maibara, you feel uneasy about something from just spending time so leisurely? There's nothing at all to feel uneasy about. I mean, why would I be punished for enjoying a gentle life? I'd do anything to keep these days going, and I would never do anything bad no matter what. Well, okay. That's worrying to say that out loud. I'd worked hard for it, and endured much for it. So God, it's not much of a dream to want this kind of thing to keep going, but can you grant it?
あら、あれは電話の音ではありませんの？こんな夜更けに誰でございましょう？
あ、本当だ。
I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I hurried to stand up, then ran to the phone. Who could it be at a time like this? I did feel a little like the phone had interrupted my happy moment, but I still wanted to brag about the happy time I was spending. I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I was spending made me, no matter who was on the other
もし
side.
もし。はい、前原です。
I swear to God, if it's freaking
もし
Oichi.
もしケイチお母さんだけど
あ、なんだ、母さんか。何こんな時間に。
That was a little cold of me when she. That was a little cold of me when she was only calling because she was worried about her son. I couldn't help but give myself a dry smile.
その様子だと特にトラブルもなく生活できてるみたいね。
No fire marks on the ceiling.
母さんケイチがご飯を作れなくてひもじくて寝込んでるんじゃないかと心配してたわ。
まあね、なんとかおかげで。
ご飯はちゃんと作れてる？今夜は何を食べたの？
へへ、野菜炒めとご飯と味噌汁だよ。スーパーでいろいろとお惣菜を買ったから、何気におかずも豊富でさ。そうそう、聞いてよ。豚肉なんかちゃんとタイムサービスを利用して半額で買ったんだぜ。へへ、主婦の知恵っていうのかな。それから。
All that was thanks to Satoko and not something I should be proud about. But still, I couldn't help but want to boast about the dinner tonight. It seemed like Mom got the hint that I was really in a good
そう
mood.
しっかりやれていて母さん本当に安心したわ。そうそう、それでねお父さんとお母さんの仕事がなんとか終わったの。
Oh, the days are gonna
明
end.
日の昼か夜には帰れると
Oh
思うから。
no.
あ、そうなんだ。
二晩よく頑張ったわね。
It was only 2
こっ
nights?
ちも二晩ほとんど徹夜でね。
Oh, that's actually really
大変
sad.
だったけどなんとか先生のイベントは穴を開けずに済みそうよ。
うん、よかったね。お疲れ。
Why did my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This tranquility I never wanted to end was about to end so readily, and it was a little painful. After being asked what kind of souvenir I wanted from Tokyo and replying that anything edible would be great, I put down the receiver and Satoko appeared, having finished cleaning up her trap. At first, Satoko was in a very good mood, but when she saw me put down the receiver with an uncertain expression, her own clouded over a bit. It seemed like she'd gotten the gist of what my phone conversation had been
ケイ
about.
チさんのご両親からですの？
ああ、明日には帰ってくるってさ。
それは良かったですわね。明日のお夕食の面倒はもう見なくていいわけでございますものね。家族で水入らずの食卓を囲みなさいませ。
そんなことないよ。また明日から無味乾燥な食卓かと思うと、なんだか寂しいよ。
Did our sound quality get worse?
ああ、明日には帰ってくるってさ。
That's like good. And then
何を贅沢言ってますの？
そんなことないよ。また明日から無味乾燥な食卓かと思うと、なんだか寂しいよ。
yeah, that's very strange. So yeah, apparently, like again, this is kind of a Frankenstein version using different lines from different ones, but that's weird.
家族みんなで囲む食卓が一番楽しいに決まってますわ。
Her brother, Satoshi, running away from home came to mind immediately. But there was no gloom in the way she said it.
私も昨日今日と2日間でしたけど、とても楽しいお夕食を取らせていただきましたわ。
ならさ、今度は俺からサトコの家に遊びに行くよ。
Satoko momentarily made a happy smile, then a second later it changed to an expression of surprise.
うちは狭くて汚いですわよ。お台所もこんなに立派ではありませんし。
Okay, but that's super fair. Like, one of the main reasons I don't like cooking is having a small kitchen sucks.
俺は別に気にしないぜ。でも、サトコが嫌なら遠慮してもいいよ。
Satoko shook her head firmly, her whole body expressing
それに
denial.
俺、サトコにはまだまだいろいろと教えてもらわないとな。ようやく炊飯器の使い方と味噌汁の作り方を覚えた程度だし。
それもそうですわね。これを機会にケイチさんにお料理をお勉強してもらうのもいいかもしれませんわね。
It was so like Satoko to take this chance to proclaim that it was all for my sake. But there was no way to conceal her own enthusiasm. It was true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There was no need to lament that, though. I could easily put in the effort to continue our mild moments like this. I'll just have to kick Rika out, but I don't think he knows that yet. Like yesterday, Satoko told me she did need to be escorted home. But Rika-chan wasn't with her tonight. She would be going home by herself. Everyone knew everyone else's face here in Hinamizawa, so it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night, but it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Satoko's older brother.
じゃあ学校の近くまで送ってやるよ。あそこまで行けば結構街灯とかあるから大丈夫だろ。
本当に大丈夫なんですのよ。悪い人が現れても指一本で撃退してみせますわ。
Okay. There was no point in pressing her any more on the subject, so I took a handful of Satoko's hair and rubbed her head vigorously.
サトコ、ごちゃごちゃ言うな。
Your Nini will bring you part of the way there. That's what I was about to say when I suddenly got embarrassed and my voice trailed off. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. That's kind of getting presumptuous. Nini could only be the nickname Satoko gave to her older brother and nothing else. I was about to use it pretty lightly, so I started to feel apologetic and a little ashamed.
ニーニー
Yeah. Aww. No. Oh my god. Really? Like that's freaking adorable. Huh? What did Satoko just say?
ケイ
Aww.
チさんが兄みたいに見えただけですわ。
Aww.
今の言い方全然違うけど、どこか
Oh.
雰囲気が似てましたもので、つい。
I'm dying. This is so cute. Satoko laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course I was embarrassed when I saw her too, because the fact that I was trying to act like her brother had gotten across. A warm feeling spread out from my chest. Completely different from romantic feelings. I sure hope the frick so! Or any of those more important emotions. It's much more graceful, quiet, and warm, and calm. Satoko still needed her Nini. I had initially thought Rika was being sly by not coming today, but when I thought about it like this, I could feel a kind thoughtfulness of her worrying about a good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of a brother herself. So then... No. Let's stop there, Keiichi Maibara. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Satoko to be happy. Satoko was acting as though her Nini running away from home didn't bother her at all, even though that wasn't actually the case. She was very sad and always waiting for him to come home. Because Satoko was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Satoko still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile it away as childish immaturity. In fact, they deserve praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by her real Nini, by Satoshi, but unfortunately he wasn't here. So since I'm here, I'll play the part. And not with a guilty conscience, but in a very natural way. Because... was there something wrong with seeing Satoko smile so happily?
なんですの、ケイチさん。さっきからずーっとニヤニヤしてますのね。
俺が嬉しそうな顔をしてるとおかしいかな。
別におかしくはありませんけど、
Sound of the motor on her bike light was too loud and I couldn't hear what Satoko said.
何？なんて言った？
いえ、本当にどこまでもニーニーに似てますのね、ケイチさん。
そっか？
もちろん本当のニーニーとは全然違うんですけども、こういろいろそういうところが似てますの。本当に不思議ですわね。
似ているとニーニーを思い出して寂しくなるか？
Once I said that, I thought for a moment that was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Satoko didn't seem to mind one bit.
別に寂しくなんかありませんわ。こうしてケイチさんがニーニーの代わりになってくれますしね。
Oh, this is killing me as an older brother. This is killing me.
その
As I was flustered for a moment at her hitting the mark, Satoko suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was a very quiet, composed, and adult question.
理科ですの？
Huh? What? It was quiet, but her voice sounded lonely somehow.
理科がニーニーの代わりになってくれってケイチさんにお願いしたんじゃありませんの？
そう思うのか？
No.
気を悪くしないでくださいませね。理科って私には変に気を使うんですの。私はそんなに気にしていないのに。
I could say for sure that at least was a lie. Yesterday and today, Satoko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings. And that was proof itself that she was lying about it not getting to her. So I gave Satoko a light poke in the head.
考えすぎだよバカ。俺は俺、前原圭一だ。お前のニーニーの北条聡じゃない。
そんなのは分かってますわ。
Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Satoko herself had realized that her question had been the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Satoko regretted, so in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Satoko's head and pet her.
そんなくだらない話はもういいだろう。もう遅いからとっとと帰って歯を磨いて寝ろ。ついでだから寝る前にうがいもしとけ。風邪の予防になっていいぞ。
それを言ったらニーニーもですわよ。
Aw, she's just casually
ちゃんと歯を
using it
磨くんです
now.
よ。うがいもしてお手洗いも済ませて明日の教科書を準備してそれから
I wonder what kind of siblings Satoko and Satoshi were. I've never seen them together, but I could say without a doubt that they were really close. As for the way in which they were close, well, it was probably quite like this. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. Damn good timing on the music ending, holy moly. Alright. That was... Oh no, don't start it up again! Stop playing, stop playing! No, we're good. Okay, we're good. Satoko's Trap Course Intermediate, I knew there'd be another one. You don't put it in, quote, in the brackets there without there being extras. Alright, Trials... Oh my god, Trials and Tribulation, shut up! That's a freaking Ace Attorney reference, baby! Alright, this song is crazy scary now. Alright, let's see what happens here. I could see Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun walking over to the gym storehouse. They need to get a bag of lime used to make the lines in the court for our next gym class. Is that what it is? But it's not green. They're on duty today, of course. But in that storehouse, a terrible trap was awaiting
トラッ
them.
プって仕掛けた側から見ると本当にハラハラするな。
ケイイチさんにもその醍醐味がわかるなら素質がありましたよ。
The two of them fumbled around with the gym storehouse's lock. Oh, what's this? Okamura-kun pointed at the part of the door and started whispering to Tomita-kun. Then, realizing something, they both jumped away from the door.
お、サトコ、バレたみたいだぞ。失敗か？
But then is there a backup trap for the first trap failing?
あの二人が入り口のトラップに気づくのは計算済みですわ。そして次にどういう行動に出るかももちろん計算済みですのよ。
According to Satoko, after they noticed a suspicious trap on the door, they would go around and try to get in through the back window. And just as she prophesied, they went around to the back. And just as she prophesied, they climbed up, opened the window, and tried to sneak in.
すげえ。サトコの読み通りだぞ。あ、かかった。
Boof! Poof! An explosion of pure white lime burst out of the window. After a few moments, the two of them managed to crawl away from the window, both of them completely white. Huh, my biggest nightmare.
この瞬間がたまりませんわね。蜜の味でございましてよ。
いや、しかし よくかかったよな。あんな器用なトラップ。富田くんが窓を登るとき、どこに手を置いて、どこに足を置くかとか、どこへ飛び降りるとか、そういうのを全部読まなくちゃ絶対にかからないぞ。
いいですことケイチさん。トラップの第一歩は相手の観察から始まりますのよ。
Is this gonna end up becoming a thing when the killings happen?
相手の行動パターンを読み、
They're
相
not
手なら
telling us all this for no
こう動くという
reason.
のを綿密に読み切るんですの。そうすれば必要最低限の仕掛けで最大の効果が狙えるトラップが仕掛けられますのよ。
Come to think of it, before Satoko read the final move at the final moment earlier, Mion had given her a high praise, saying she had the makings of a
トラッ
genius.
プは読みが全てってわけか。じゃあつまり過去に俺が引っかかってきたトラップもみんな俺が読まれてるから引っかかってたってわけか。
私なりにケイチさんの行動パターンを読み切っているからかかるんですわよ。だからケイチさんがある日突然いつもと違う癖やいつもと違うパターンになってしまったらかからなくなってしまうわけですわね。
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm gonna keep that in the back of my head. Bragging that she could anticipate everything I'd do. That was kind of mean.
よし。じゃあさ、なんかゲームをやってみろ。
Are we doing the look away game?
サトコの読みが当たるかどうか試してみろよ。
いいですわよ。ケイチさんは特に読みやすいですから朝飯前でしてよ。
When we went back to the classroom, Satoko tore off a piece of paper and wrote something on the back of them, making 3 cards. Of course, I didn't know what she'd written.
この中の1枚を引いてごらんなさいませ。外れを引かなければケイチさんの勝ちですわ。
よーし、挑戦してやるぜ。部活で鍛
You
え上げられ
better
た俺の感性
show
で
that all 3 are not you're a
見事に
loser, though. Satoko smirks and holds out the 3 cards. Set your mind to full power by calming it, Keiichi Maibara. Cool and collected is how you'll win. If I don't pick the losing one, I'll win. Which means if I do pick it, Satoko will win. In other words, Satoko wants me to pick the losing one. What would she do to make sure I pick the losing one? Could she even predict something like that? Statistically speaking, is there some rule that says I'm more likely to pick the one in the middle or the ones on either side? And then it hits me like a flash. This is what Mion would do.
さあ、どれを取るか決まりまして。
決めたぜ。それはな、これだ
何をするでございますの？
I steal all 3 cards from Satoko's hands. I predicted what Satoko would do in advance. Satoko wanted to make sure I picked the losing one, which meant all 3 of these were the losing
そう
ones.
いうわけだ。この3枚改めさせても
And
らうぜ。
let me guess, they're all gonna say, I knew you would do that or something. I flip all 3 cards face up, and on each one there's a single word. You're a loser. Oh my god, it was. Yep.
なんだこりゃ。はずれ外れ。
つまりはそういうこと。1枚しか取らなかったなら
Wow.
外れにはならなかった
Wow.
ということですわ。
じゃあ俺が3枚まとめて引くのを読んでいたってのか。
See, this is where you go predict this and then just like, you know, grab the table and freaking throw it out there, right? Predict that. I held my head in my hands and fainted as Satoko reveled at the might of her abilities. Her shrill laughter echoed throughout the class. And then there was a poof of lime powder came down upon Satoko's head. I looked up to see Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun all in white dumping a bag of lime powder on her, getting their revenge.
いきなり何をなさいますのですか、お二人とも。
Oh, are you the one who can't take it back after you dish it?
どうやら誰が罠を仕掛けたのかは問答無用ってところだな。
失礼でございますわね。どこに証拠がございますの？それに罠なんて品のない言い方をやめてほしいですわね。より優雅にトラップと呼んでほしいですわ。
That being said, these two pretending to be tough, not only that, but standing still completely blank and silent. But anyway, ignoring what happened before, having someone chase you with their mouth full of lime in such a way they can't even speak, yeah, that'd be scary even for Satoko.
いや
Our underclassmen crashed around the classroom in furious combat, getting white lime everywhere. Hey, Satoko? Why couldn't you see this coming exactly? At the time, I hadn't seen it coming too, though. The teacher coming to talk to me afterward and giving us all a stern talking to. Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not gonna go well. All right. Well. This is definitely going... Like, it's still like the slice of life stuff, but I think the big difference I'm noticing is, well, it is the slice of life. I'm enjoying this more because it's not board game shenanigans. It's more direct characterization driven, which for me at least, I definitely prefer. So, yeah, you know, not much else to say other than that I'm excited to continue with our reading, and we will happily move on with some more in the coming days here. So thank you all for watching, everyone, and we will see you next time for some more Let's Read Higurashi Chapter 3, the Tatarigoroshi chapter. We'll see you then. Ciao. Yo.